column's out. Remember I said it'd take 2.5 inches out of the column? So last time you saw the column, it looked something like this. So this is your little end that shifts the transmission and the linkage connects to. And of course at that rate we had the inner tube. So what we found out is these screw holes hold this collar. What this collar does is it just locates this evenly inside the tube. So what we get to do now is we're able to put this collar back in, drill new holes for it, screw it back, and that way everything will stay even. But if you're wondering what's on the inside, you cut this off, this comes off, cut your outer tube, and you're allowed to get this whole section out. We are not sure really what the spring does, maybe other than hold tension in this collar and hold the inner pipe down, which actually runs all the way up to your lever. But if you've never seen the inside of one, this is roughly what it looks like. And like I said, now that we got this loose, we can put this back in. It'll keep us in a nice location. We're going to mill this down so it'll fit the rag joint, build a cap for the end, reinstall this, and then we should get the column back in the car, which will be the next bit of video. Here we are later in the day. We got the box in, got the rag joint in, everything went in, the column dropped in right after we did the mods. It was perfect. We're using the Borgeson. They sell these 16 mil to AN6 because we're doing all steel braided lines. This is their Saginaw pump. We had to modify their bracket that they supply with the Saginaw pump in order for it to fit in here. You can do it. You just have to drill the second hole on the bottom over equal distance as the top hole. I have a couple pictures of that if anybody wants to know. But we're going to stick some lines on it, fill it up, and see what we get, and I'll be back. Hey guys, welcome back, part 2. So here we go, the quick wrap up on things. It's been in for a few days, put some miles on it. A couple things. Because these frame rails were not supportive of a actual steering box and all the work was done at the bottom by the hydraulic cylinder, when you bolt the box through and then you go turn on it, you'll notice it moves around quite a bit in the frame rail. To sure it up, just build a plate and plate the outside of the frame rail, and that takes about 90% of that box movement out. Not perfect, but you gotta remember these frame rails were not holding all the torque that the box put out because that's not the way the steering system was designed. But anyhow, Fairlanes, we get lucky. We can run our hoses through the strut tower to keep them away from our headers, then right back into the box. And like I said, this is the Saginaw box that Borgeson provides with their bracket. But the install is pretty clean, and in some places the Borgeson box actually feels a little bit smaller than the factory unit. We put a cap on the end of the shaft. We'll drop a picture to let you know what that looks like. We'll also add a picture to let you guys know what kind of plate we put on the outside of the frame. I think I'll eventually, when I go back in, do some other things. I will plate the frame a little bit further just to add a little bit more rigidity. But steering wise, it feels the same at low speeds, it feels the same at high speeds, but where it pays off is if you're in and out of the windy roads, feels a lot better, and you don't have to break your arms off to get in and out of parallel parking spots. So there it is. If you have any questions, find me on other social media accounts, Carburetor Cowboy. Leave something down in the bottom in the comments. I'll try to get back to you. Until next project piece on this, you guys have a great holiday season.